to be young in 2020. It is so scary how we are still fighting these old wars, how we are seeking for change, knocking at old doors. And when one opens, we are like, "Dear Master, I am truly yours." How are we drowning in these shallow shores? How my young nephews cannot read and write and still believe that they will have a future that is bright. How social media told them to text more and they will win the fight. But the battle is out here in these hostile streets, these deadly streets. Being young in this new decade needs us to be more brave. Yes, it is time we set our own stage, put more rage in our passion and break out from this cage and show the world that Africa is not a grave.
The earth cries the day when winter came, and so the shadows of men chased the sun. They knew that they only had limited time. The mountains froze, kept behind them and beneath their own selves, skeletons hidden like colonial wars. And so the pain of black people and Africa in its whole was hidden away. And so the claws of the East reached out to the West, making the Queen herself cry out and asking the God that they so forced on black slaves to remind them of the sins that they committed. 2020 was a teen year that reminded us that the earth is just a ticking time bomb waiting for the soon-coming king. The glory of man was written on their skin. The kings of the world sat down with fear and they spoke. I'm just not sure whether if they spoke about the time of when to let it out and scare everybody else and remind them of nothing like nothing they were. But so it came to pass that time itself ticked and reminded them of hours that were missed by men. Even now, and so the sinners cried. This was a time when we reminded of the singer's song. The empty streets wallowing with their tears. The carpenters couldn't create enough coffins, so we ended up burying them in their closet like rotten skeletons that came out with time. The thin line between truth and conspiracy. This was a time that being young in 2020 reminded us that we could never say much. We failed to speak or preach. Till now we wear the mask. The sound is held back with the voices that never scream.
To be young in 2020. Black, female, human. To be young or not to be. To me, I see with one eye open, for the age is unpeeling before my floating being. Is this where we sleep or awaken to infinity? This, under my sleeve, stands to be what I seek, but to be young in 2020. Strong, vulnerable, awareness. The mirrors of your every angle that tell a different story. But to whom is it told? And do you believe it? Because I bought into it, like a naive little girl. Looking up at your face as if you're my stars, for you seem to hold the truth about my life. Perhaps if you brought the sun with you, perspective would change and we fall into a trance. But if falling into a trance equates living, then I choose to be young in 2020.
To be young in 2020. To be young in 2020 is to be dead by the age of 30. I mean, George Floyd died because of the sin I buried, the skin I'm wearing, black, the skin we should be celebrating, the skin we killing, diminishing. I mean, my kind is close to extinction and we in the sidelines watching, social media liking, film taking, no one's in the streets fighting as long as the government is money granted. To be young in 2020 is to be in jail for hustling. And don't get me wrong, selling drugs is not the right thing, but NSFAS gave me a degree and I can barely use it. Job seeking, they asking for experience, where do I get it? And if I blame the government, they say I'm being petty. I'm just saying that I want the same opportunities I keep from getting, but they'll discriminate because I found the low shame. So yeah, to be young in 2020 is to be a victim of modern life slavery.
This is just not a time where a rude awakening of truth is taking place, but a rising of those forgotten setting ways. A reminder to a young black child that being black is more than just being boxed in a tweet. Being black is a matter of representation. Living it more than I speak it. Actually participate and pose more than I post. Being black is being female and unsafe. afraid, and sharing intimate spaces with our predators. Here's a reminder not to get lost in the funk. The pressured conformities of the now? Yes. Adapt by all means, acclimatize. Heck, infiltrate. Just don't get swayed by these boggy days. And if you do get swayed, keep self at close range, for that's the only cushion to fall back on. To be young in 2020 is maneuvering about life with the shortening of hope, dimming faith, diffused meaning to life. Yet still, to be young in 2020 is enough to be black, young, driven, ready to start over, to carry forth the dream, heed the call, sing that song, move from mucky grounds, stand for something, pace in your light, remain undoubtful with self, uqhakaze in your own light. Lunga NK.
To be young in 2020 is not a curse, trust me. Yes, being young in this season might make you shiver as uncertainty kicks in. But hold on, take a deep breath and leave. To be young in 2020 means rethinking one's steps, seriously going down on the knees, asking for direction as you hope for a better tomorrow. Being young in 2020 is a great privilege. Yes, it's a gateway to make a difference, to stand for what is right, abolish what is wrong. As you add your voice to the voices. Being young in 2020 for some means more trading, more investing, more networking, or for others catching up on assignments, or simply being locked at home. Being young in 2020 means pondering on the importance of life, setting your priorities right, and aligning yourself to the truth. At times it means being broken, down, and hopeless. But remember, it's not a curse being young in 2020.